Hi there, this is Rob from Reason101.net, and I'm here to show you a little bit about how to parallel process some effects. What this means is we're going to take some audio, we're going to split it out into 3 different splits, we're going to send it through 3 different effects units, and then we're going to bring it back together and merge it into one final stereo mix at the end. So let's get started because there's a lot of routing here. First you're going to take the mixer, you're going to add a mixer in. Then let's add a Thor device. Let's open up our Thor. Let's create a sine wave and let's randomize a pattern on the sequencer. And then let's change the run mode up to repeat. Click run and you should be hearing a sound now. Okay, so that's good enough for now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to create our combinator that's going to house all of our effects. So just create a blank combinator, and I'm going to delete the labels. Okay, and I'm going to create inside the combinator, when you see that red line, I'm going to create 2 Spider audio mergers and splitters, and then I'm also going to create 2 line mixers. Now let's flip the rack around, and we're going to take our Thor output, and we're going to send it into the combinator. We're going to send to the devices, we're going to go to the Spider splitter. We're going to send 1 split into the first channel of the first mixer, send another split into the first channel of the second mixer, send a 3rd split into the splits of the second Spider so that you have more outputs. And now we're going to take the master output of the first mixer and send that into one of the merger inputs, and same thing with the other master output. And then finally we're going to send the merge output into the from devices of the combinator. This is the basic setup. Now if you want, you can label your spiders, and this is going to be the let's see, we'll call this the original mix, and then this one, call this the tone splits. For the mixers, we'll call this the tone submix, and we'll call the second mixer the clean bypass, or rather it's probably better to call it the original bypass. Okay, now I'm going to take a little shortcut here. I'm going to, instead of creating a whole bunch of new devices and creating some different effects, what I'll do is I'll borrow from the factory sound bank. So what we're going to do is, first thing, we are going to create an effect. And we're going to browse to the factory sound bank. We're going to go into all effects patches. Let's go into the modulation section. Modulation patches. Let's take the Wide-O-Matic. It's a really good patch that was put together by progtronic.com. So we're going to see how these devices are set up. The only thing we really need to concern ourselves with is how are the devices, where is the 2 outputs going from the combinator, and where are the outputs coming from the devices. So we note that they're coming from the Spider split audio, and they're going back into the combinator from the master output of the main mixer. So once you just memorize that, just make sure you know where they're going, and then hold your shift key down and select all the different devices that are inside the combinator. Okay, once you've done that, right click and select cut devices, and then go into your other combinator and select paste devices, and then we can delete this Wide-O-Matic combinator. Now what you have to do here is you want it to be going, you want to have 1 split of the tone splits going to the audio Spider merger, and then if you remember, the mixer here was going back out, so this is going to be going back out into the channel 2 of the first of your tone submix. So we're going to do this again. This process, we're going to open up the browser. This time let's take a, let's see, let's take a flange verb. How would that be? Okay, so there's 3 devices in here. So again, we're going to note where everything's routed. So you can see it's going to audio 1 of the mixer, and it's coming back. The master output is going to the from devices. So again, select, hold down your shift key, right click, cut devices and tracks, go into your combinator, paste devices and tracks, and now you're going to send this split into the first channel, and then the master output is going to go back out to the second part of the tone submix. At this point, I would just tab it over and label your rotaries, because we're going to need to know which ones these are. So this one we're going to call wide-o-matic. Second one, we're going to call it flange verb. Flange verb. Okay, so we can delete our combinator here, the flange verb. Where is the delete? There we go, delete. Now we're going to create one more combinator, and this time let's take a, what are we going to take here? How about a rotary speaker? There we go. Okay, so flip this around. This looks a little bit more complicated, but the same principles apply. Okay, let's roll everything up because everything's open, so we'll just roll it up. Take a look. We'll see that this is going into mixer 2, channel 1 left. So mixer 2, channel 1 left. This is channel 2 left, channel 1 left. So let's take a look here. Okay, so it's going 1 and 2 left. And then the outputs are coming from this remix here, the master outputs. Okay, so let's select all of our devices. Cut the devices, go back to your combinator, paste the devices, take that master output, go back up. This is going to go into the 4th channel of the tone submix, and the split is going to go down into that line mixer at the bottom, and this, the right, is going to go into the left, line 2. Now we can delete this combinator. Okay, let's roll everything up again. Okay, let's turn it around. And this is going to be our rotary speakers. Rotary speakers. Okay, and this over here is going to be our original mix. And I'm going to use the 4th button to enable the whole thing, which is either going to turn our effects on or turn them off. Now let's open up the programmer. We don't really need to see the devices in it. Well, let's keep the devices open and I'll actually show you what's going on here.